Hey friends, Worm here, at least that's what the apes tell me, and today I wanted to talk about a particular exotic that I've seen getting a lot of usage lately, and really, quite frankly, forever, but especially now, I think, since the changes with the whole aspect number, or I'm sorry, the fragment number you get with aspects on Light 3.0 subclasses, and I kind of wanted to talk about my thoughts on these exotics because lots of people are saying they're OP, lots of people saying they're fine, and yeah, let's talk about them. The exotic in question are none other than the Ape Titan's Delight, Anteus Wards. So for those of you who may not be aware, Anteus Wards, basically after sprinting for a short amount of time, when you slide, you will get a protective overshield that protects you basically from any and all damage. This damage is unlimited. As far as I can tell, you can block thunder crash damage, you can block nova bombs, not only block, but you can actually reflect it back on the user. So if somebody's using a grenade launcher, you can reflect that grenade back. Same thing with rockets, other supers, you know, a variety of different things. And, you know, like I said, like a lot of people are saying that they don't like it. So a lot of people are saying that it's OP, it's busted. A lot of people are saying, no, it's not, they're fine. And I want to talk about kind of some of the pros and cons of using them because I used them a little bit today, which you're actually seeing the background footage of here, with the specific intention of shotgun aping, because that is what they are primarily used for, is shotgun aping, right? Like nobody has ever put on Anteus Wards to do a pulse rifle hand cannon combo or to do a sniper hand cannon combo. Like they are, you know, shotgun, delight, fusion rifle. They're okay with fusion rifles, but a lot better with shotguns. And so that's what I wanted to kind of use the basis of, right? Because when people say, oh, this thing's OP, it's busted, it's broken, they're not talking about the players who, you know, are using it with their primary weapons. They're talking specifically about the shotgun apes, the shotgun rushers that they're encountering in their games. Because, of course, people slap this exotic on and they run at you at 100 miles an hour with their shotgun outs and often results in a kill. Not only that, but you can take and you can pair these exotics here with the Juggernaut shield that comes with Arc Titan kit to basically make you have an immunity shield that lasts up until you can close the distance on somebody. And I am by no means a master of this. I don't really ever use shotguns in the Crucible. You know, for those of you who know me, I like snipers or dual SMGs, of course. But with the Anteus Wards here, I'm no master with them, okay? So I don't know the timings, but you'll see in the gameplay, like there are some kills I get that, you know, I had no business getting because I'm running somebody down with a shotgun. The first game I'm using conditional finality, the second game I use duality. So that'll kind of explain a little bit more. I think the second game's a little bit better than the first game. At any rate, you know, you run at somebody with a jug shield, they break your jug shield, you run a little bit closer, then you slide, you get that additional shield, and then you can shotgun him. You know, not only that, but when you do that slide, you don't even have to hit like a majority of your pellets. Like as long as if they're using something pretty powerful and you know how to reflect your vents, so to speak, and make it where they shoot back at the targets, you're going to do enough chip damage that you can get a one-shot kill with most shotguns, right? Like lightweights, with the exception maybe rapid fires because they don't have any range at all. But lightweights, of course, precisions, those are big right now. Aggressives, and of course you see in the background, or you'll see in the background, slug shotties as well. But these, you know, this is how they're most commonly used. And I think when people say, oh, they need a nerf, this is what people think of. They think of the Titans that run around with a shotgun glued to their hip and get kills like that. So what are some of the reasons I think that they should be nerfed? We'll talk about the reasons I think they should be nerfed, you know, and the reasons why, and the reasons why I don't think that they should be nerfed. Because at the end of the day, I think if something does not need to be nerfed more than it needs to be nerfed, then doesn't mean, you know, it doesn't need to be nerfed. And if something needs to be, I shouldn't say nerfed, I should say tuned. One of you guys pointed out in the comments earlier this week, you know, if something needs to be tuned more than it doesn't, then they should tune it. If it does not need to be tuned, or if it needs to be, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Look, what I'm trying to say is we'll talk about the pros and cons of using them and where I stand, what my final decision or final opinion is on them. So, of course, when using shotguns, they are very, very strong, especially when used with Arc Titan with Juggernaut Shield, because you can literally beeline it at an enemy that Juggernaut shield will tank a bunch of damage, right? It'll tank a shotgun shot, it'll tank a sniper shot, it'll tank heavies, supers, it'll tank basically everything, right? Until it's broken. Then once it's broken, you're vulnerable, then you can slide for that additional shield that you will get to block damage. And like I said, like, it's so frustrating when players get aped down by a shotgun, right? And especially because there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, when somebody has double shields, you know, like protective shields, not over shields, but double protective shields, there's not a lot you can do in that situation. And that's why so many people call for a nerf, because they're like, oh, if there's nothing I can do to combat Anteus Wards, if there's nothing I can do. You actually just saw me use the Anteus Ward to slide through a Titan barricade. You can rewind the video real quick, but you can use it to block literally any damage. At any rate, you know, players, they like to say, oh, like, you know, it's OP because you can, you know, mitigate damage and there's nothing that other players can do about it. And I definitely see the frustration there, you know, and that's one of the reasons why players call for the nerf, is because it literally, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, like if you're getting beelined by a Juggernaut Anteus shotgun using Titan, there's nothing you can do about it other than use abilities. You know, if you're on Void Hunter, use a smoke grenade to stop them from sprinting, you know, use something from the stasis kit to stop them or slow them. Like, there's not a lot that you can do about it. And especially stasis right now, not super popular. You know, I know that I see it sometimes, but stasis is not really a popular class to use right now. And a lot of people, like, it kind of goes back to the notion of, is something busted, or is something requiring you to play in a way that you don't want to play because you don't want to play it? Right? Because we had a video a couple weeks ago talking about that. Like, players, you know, call for nerf this, nerf that, nerf this, nerf that. But if you look at it, like, the weapon or whatever they're using is not really OP. Like, I've had people that I've, you know, play games against, you know, they message me, oh my gosh, I had somebody message me not too long ago on the Destiny, like, website, because I don't accept, like, just anybody's friend request, because, you know, I kind of get a lot of those. But they messaged me on Destiny and they were like, nice Rat King, blah, 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 broken gun, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, it's not broken. I didn't respond to it, but in my head, it's like, no, it's not broken. It's just, it's difficult to counter because you don't want to slow down and play methodical. That's how you counter Rat King, is to slow down, pay attention, play methodical, right? With the shotgun aping Titan that's using Anteus Wards, you just got to stay further back, right? That's the only way to counter it. And so many players, they say, oh, it's not fun. It's not fun to do that. It's not fun to change my playstyle to a slower, more boring playstyle. You're right, it's not. But at the same time, to counter enemies, we have to constantly change up what we do. In Trials, you know, Trials is a great example. If somebody's using, you know, sniper scout rifle, staying in the very far back of the map, what am I going to do? Am I going to continuously challenge them with a sniper or a scout rifle? No, I'm going to play in the close quarters, because while this guy's on the outside of the map doing whatever it is he's doing with his sniper and his scout rifle, I'm on the inside of the map where there's potentially more action, and I'm just out of his line of sight. I'm playing around that. And it's vice versa. You know, if somebody's shotgun rushing with Anteus Wards here, right? They're running around with Anteus Wards and Juggernaut and a shotgun, and they're just absolutely demolishing you. Maybe it's time to take a step back and not get, you know, in the way of the literal Juggernaut, right? Because, like, they're unstoppable. They are unstoppable, you know. And so, like I said, I understand why people call for a nerf, because there's nothing you can do about it. It feels like, you know, if you see that Titan turn the corner and you are not 100% ready, you know, you don't have something in your kit that's ready for it, if you're not, you know, prepared, you're going to die to it. You're going to get shotgun rushed. It's what happens. Okay. It's inevitable that it's going to happen to you as a player at some point in Destiny 2. But I think that the balancing factor here is that it requires players to play very, very close. Okay. Like, yes, you could maybe make the argument, well, it's not fair because they could put on Chaperone and kill me from, you know, 14 meters away. Well, I can't shoot him. Like, yes, but at the same time, I don't think I've ever encountered an Anteus Wards using Striker Titan, an Anteus Wards using Titan in general, that's using Chaperone. Like, most players are using Conditional Finality. They're using, you know, a precision frame shotgun, you know, the Matador, the, what is it, Fractus, shotguns like that. Like, it's very rare that I see an Anteus Ward using Titan using a slug shotgun. And even at that, like, I think what is it? Gosh, I forget the name of it off the top of Chaperone. Sorry, Chaperone. Even Chaperone, I think can, like, caps out at like 12 meters max, right? And that's like, if you, that's somebody on low resilience, who's blah blah blah, like, the distance you can get with a jug shield while somebody's shooting at you and then sliding, I would say is probably like 7 or 8 meters. Like, that's a good distance, don't get me wrong. That's almost 20 meters. Like, if you engage somebody at 20 meters with the Chaperone, and you've got roadborne active or whatever, yeah, you can run into them, you can slide, you can potentially get that headshot off. But it's not like, that is way more difficult than putting on something like, Matador, like conditional finality, and doing the same thing, which will require you to be a lot closer. So my overall verdict here, I don't think Anteus Wards need to be nerfed. I think that, actually, hold on, we need to talk about a very, very important aspect, because that's, we talked about the reason why people are complaining about them, because, oh, I get shotgun rush and there's nothing I can do about it, it's not fair. I think where Anteus Wards needs like an actual nerf is that it does not just protect you from the front. You are literally immune while you're sliding. Okay. Like you get, this half second of just complete immunity. And we saw that, I announced it just a minute ago in the gameplay. I can slide through a Titan wall taking no damage, right? Now, Titan wall, very thin, blah, 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 but you can slide through Nova bombs and not take, and not take damage, or not take damage to die. You can slide through a Nova bomb, like a Vortex Nova bomb. That's what I mean. Vortex Nova bomb, and survive. You can survive so much. And I think that that's really where Anteus Wards needs to be tuned at, right? Because I don't think that anybody should be able to survive, a Vortex Nova bomb that's not already in super, for example, just by sliding, right? Like, that full immunity, it makes sense if it's right in front of you. If somebody shoots a golden gun shot at you, yes, that's a high damage, high impact, blah, blah, blah. But if they shoot that at you and you reflect it back, that's fine, because it's coming from right in front of you. But I don't think that you should be protected on the sides and at the back. And I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the way that it works currently is you are literally immune for half a second. That half a second of immunity is really, I think, where, for me personally, that's where I would draw more of my frustration from, rather than I got aped by a shotgun. Yes, it is frustrating to get aped by a shotgun. I'm not saying it's not, but it's counterable. What's not counterable is, the Titan who should have died to your Nova Bomb, but was able to slide, put up a shield, and, shotgun rush you through it, for example, and that's where I would say Anteus Wards needs to be nerfed. It needs to be a frontal shield only, similar to Juggernaut. Juggernaut, if you get shot from the back, Juggernaut does not block that damage. Anteus Wards, I have no thorough testing here, but I'm pretty sure that it does, because I've slid, like, just while in this play session while I was playing with this, I slid through a Vortex Nova Bomb and I didn't die. Okay, now, yes, I got injured because, I was in there for more than half a second, but for half a second, I took no damage inside of the Vortex, where you should be taking constant damage. And I don't know, maybe I'm just not paying attention or something. Like, I don't exactly know how it works, but that is where I would draw more of my, like, frustration from, right? Is the fact that you're literally immune to any kind of damage for half a second while you slide. From the front, I get it. It's fine if it's from the front, but from the sides, from the back, no. Like, I think that would be the only place I would want to tune Anteus Wards. Not only that, but of course, for Anteus Wards to work, it's not like you can just, like it once was. For those of y'all who may not remember, way back in the day when Anteus Wards first came out, and they were first released in Destiny 2, anytime you'd slide, you'd get that shield. And that shield was a lot more generous. Like, it wasn't this, half second. It was the full duration of your slide. So you could slide, have a shield for as long as you slide, and be basically invincible, right? And you can do it every single slide. So you'd have people that would be shooting at you, or they're aiming down sides. They'd start getting shot at, and they just instantly go into a slide, because you can sprint and slide like that. You can instantly transition into a slide to block that damage, and you can no longer do that. Now you have to be sprinting for, 1.5, or maybe it's 2 seconds. I don't remember exactly how long, but you have to be sprinting before it will activate. And if you double slide, it won't work. Right? Like, it's not like, oh, every single slide you have it active, ready to go. Like, there is a cooldown for it as well. So that's why I don't think it needs to be nerfed. And that's kind of my final verdict on Anteus Wards, is they don't need to be nerfed from, their shotgunning potential. Like, where they need a nerf is in the all-encompassing damage protection that you get around your entire body. And that's the only thing I'd change about it. But of course, I want to know your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts on Juggernaut, Anteus Ward's, I'll call them Ant Jugs from now on. Ant Jug Titans. Tell me your thoughts on shotgun rushing with Anteus Wards. Like, have you ever used them without a shotgun or without a fusion rifle? Have they done anything for you? Have you ever blocked a really cool shot like a Nova Bomb, reflected back at an enemy? Let me know your thoughts on Anteus Wards and everything like that. Of course, if you like the video, drop a like. It helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe, please, for more daily Destiny content. And of course, I will see y'all in the next one. Do me a favor, watch the video you see on the end screen, because for whatever reason, YouTube thinks you'll like it. And I'll see y'all later.